What's up guys? So right now we have the event for Tormin. Not quite a fusion, but basically one that you will do tons of events and eventually get him. Now me personally, I'm not going for him, but that's already because I have him and these events are pretty hard to do, so you kind of need to make choices. And I chose to pull charts during the Harima event and other stuff, and I want to save for upcoming fusions and so on. And plus one Tormin wouldn't really make a huge difference for me. But for many people, if you can do this event, I would recommend you to do it, because Tormin can be quite potent in arena. Not quite in classic arena, but very good in tag team arena and especially live arena. And let's actually talk about it. I wanted to highlight Tormin a bit, even though I normally use him a decent amount as well, just because he's a bit uncommon pick, and content creators famously, as you know, don't really focus on the PvP side of things in Raid. They are mostly focusing on like account efficiency and PvE content and so on. But I kind of wanted to give you a good thorough look from PvP player's perspective, what Tormin is used for and what he is good. But if I shortly cut to the chase, basically classic arena, not relevant. Tag team arena, very good for defense, you can use it for offense as well. I mean, even in classic arena, Tormin used to be a meta defense champion years ago, back during the speed meta when we were kind of lacking things. But nowadays, people have, the endgame players have immunity sets, and you don't even need immunity sets with champions that have like cleanse or go first with Sifi and base the immunity on your team. And even outside of that, Stone Skin is popular. We have Nakarada that protects your nuker from Tormin's passive. There's many ways to get around it, and top players can definitely get around it, so it's not relevant in classic arena. In tag team arena, it's actually quite relevant because you have 3 teams that you must fight, and the basic idea how you want to make a good tag team arena defense is that you want to make it so that enemy can't attack you. And what I mean by that is that, for instance, maybe you have a one team with lockout, and maybe he can handle that with his speed team, but then you also have another team that has, let's say, Tormin, and they don't have an immunity team for it, so you want to have as many teams as possible that kind of for specific champions and mechanics that the enemy team must have, and then they might look at your team and see that I can only beat one of these or only 2 of these, and it's not worth attacking him, and I'm gonna try something else. In classic arena, it's a bit different. You basically want the fight to be as slow as possible, and maybe for some enemies to not be able to attack you at all, but the top players can attack anybody, so it is a bit different. Now for live arena, Tormin is very good, and the reason why he is so good in live arena is because you can pick and ban one champion, which actually it makes him way better than he would otherwise be. But actually, let's quickly look at his kit and build, which is kind of simple and self-explanatory, and then I'll explain why and how he's used in live arena. So the A1 is just a simple AoE skill that has 15% chance to freeze, and the part about instantly activating burn is of course completely irrelevant. But he is a defense scaling champion, which is generally very good, though not as good as HP scaling ones. Those are gonna be a lot tankier. But his skill doesn't hit very hard, if we're being fair. I mean, he doesn't have the most insane base defense, and the multiplier on this skill is very... I don't remember it out of top of my head, but actually let's quickly look it from Ayumila. It's something kind of unusually low, to be honest, but it does AoE and has a chance to freeze, so it's still pretty good, and it can work against something like lockout. Okay, it's only 2, yeah, so A1 is 2, A2 is 3, and A3 is 3.8, okay. But so it is AoE, so if you're locked out, or if you do ally attack, you're still able to use this skill better than average despite the multiplier, and it has the chance to freeze. Then the A2, basically, it's a single target skill that hits twice, so if the multiplier is 3, but it is basically 6 multiplier, so this is his hardest hitting skill in practice. It's just gonna buff strip one champion and or steal buffs if he has freeze on them, which works very well with his other kit, like since his basic purpose is to freeze the enemy. It is pretty good for those. Then the A3 is a bit complex, there's so many different mechanics on it, but most of them are not very relevant in practice, but attacks all enemies, places block buffs, debuff, and 100% heal debuff. Heal reduction debuff for 2 turns on enemies under freeze debuffs. Now often when you use this skill at the start of the fight, they are not gonna have any debuffs or freeze debuffs on them, but later on in the fight they might have, and you are able to buff strip the immunity with the A2. Then has 60% chance of placing provoke debuff for 1 turn on enemies not under freeze debuffs. This is usually what's gonna happen, and it is pretty good part, but he has many different potential debuffs on this skill. Decreases the cooldown of one random skill of each ally by 1 turn for every enemy attacked under both freeze and HP burn, which is not gonna ever happen in PvP, so you can just disregard that. This skill hits fairly decent, but not super hard. The only really hard hitting skill is the A2, but considering that his A1 is AoE and he has 2 AoEs, the damage is still okay, but you're not gonna use Tormin for the damage, even if you build him as a nuker. Then the passive has 20% chance of placing freeze debuff on the enemy each time they receive a buff or have their turn meter filled. And the turn meter filled part is very relevant because people might of course often ignore this one, and this is actually very relevant in the current meta. 20% chance applies up to twice per enemy turn, once for buffs, once for turn meter fills, and enemies are often gonna have the chance to proc both of these, so it's good. In cases where an enemy receives multiple of these effects at the same time, so you don't have you can't, if they place like 10 buffs, you're not gonna have 10 times 20% chance to freeze them. This skill actually used to work differently. It was kind of, some people were calling it a nerf and some people were calling it a buff, but they basically nerfed it because Tormin was so dominant in classic arena defense. Kind of like Taras is right now, but not quite the same. And yeah, then it also has the secondary effect that when he gets killed, he's gonna revive at 100% health, and he's gonna be frozen for 1 turn. And the freeze does book for 10% extra chance, so you're gonna have 30% chance to freeze. But the revive part is pretty long, 6 turn cooldown with book, so it's pretty much gonna happen once per fight generally. But so what Tormin is actually used for in live arena is that since you can ban one champion in the enemy team, often they might only pick one support champion like Siphi that does both immunity and something else, like that's just like basically either attack or defense buff for their nukers. But if they only pick one of those champions and you're able to fight their team while banning the immunity champion, then they are gonna be very susceptible to Tormin. Classic arena, generally everybody is gonna have that, and if you're gonna use Tormin, they are most certainly gonna have Yatzes or Siphi or something like that. But since you do have the option to ban their support, if they just happen to pick one of those champions, then picking Tormin against the right team can be very devastating and game over. And there's actually multiple different types of champions that are very susceptible to Tormin that you will see often in live arena. One of them is very obvious that everybody knows about, which was his original purpose. Wait, that's not the right faction. Of course, it's great against Arbiter. Arbiter is gonna be used in speed teams, and they are generally not gonna have immunity buffs except possibly from Tiffy or Necrot. But if you're able to ban them, or they don't pick either one of those or something like that, then Arbiter places both buff and turn meter boost on your team, so there's a good chance that you're able to freeze their team. And Arbiter actually gets used quite a good amount in live arena. I feel like she actually gets used a lot more in the higher levels of live arena, lower levels. Like, she's not gonna get less common but more common, because then people are gonna run her often with champions like Georgit and Ronda, and against the right matchups it can be very devastating. So that's the obvious one, and of course it works against all sorts of buff champions that you will see. But then something that is kind of new and kind of unique, because this hasn't been the case before, except for like the recent times. But both Taras and Marichka actually have pretty bad matchup against Taras, assuming that you don't let them have something like Siphi in their team. So Taras does his damage on A1 like normal nunkers do, but it also has this part that each critical hit fills the turn meter of allies by 5%. Now this can be pretty tough, because that means that Tormin has a chance to ruin their day every time Taras does A1. And of course he doesn't do A1 just with his own A1, but every time Marichka does her A1 as well. And of course if you're on lower levels of live arena, they might even have multiple Taras on their team, so it might get even worse. Then with Marichka, she does have cleanse on one of her skills, but if you look at this skill closely, removes all debuffs from allies, so she can remove the freeze, then fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. This means that, let's say that Taras is frozen, and she uses the A3 to cleanse Taras, she has the chance also to freeze Taras again or other champions in the team, so that can actually be pretty rough for her. And then also her passive revives champions with freeze and places block damage, which means that this can also block freeze from Tormin passive. And then her A2 also places strengthen and shield on your entire team. This can also proc the Tormin passive, and she doesn't have immunity in her kit, so both of the Ukraine duo are actually pretty susceptible to Tormin freeze. So they are very tanky, and outside of that, of course, Taras one-shots Tormin, and Tormin maybe 5 or 10 shots Taras, so that part is issue. But if you are able to protect your Tormin, and you do have the Tormin passive to save him on the first turn of the fight, so you might be able to pull it off. Now let's quickly take a look at the build so you can get a better understanding. Well, actually, I should pull it from Hellhades website just because it gives you a little bit of better visual impression. But yeah, this is the build that I'm running on him. The issue with Tormin is that you're gonna want both damage, speed and accuracy, so you're not gonna have the most insane damage build, also considering that he doesn't have the most like top multipliers. You're gonna have to sacrifice a bit, and he's kind of 50-50 nuker and utility champion, but of course you're gonna build him as a nuker. But as you can see in my build, I'm going for, you want to aim for at least more than 200 accuracy. It's not gonna be enough to freeze the champions in the enemy team that are built with resistance, but accuracy does have advantage against resistance. I have made videos about it before and you can find them if you search, but the short version is that you can add like 40 or even like let's say 60 if you have 200 accuracy and enemy has 200 resistance, you will basically need to be 260 resistance against the 200 accuracy to be equal, because accuracy has 42 inherent disadvantage against resistance, and then you also get like more than 20 more accuracy from masteries, but more than 200 is fine. Obviously, ideally you would get as much as you can, but you want to focus on the damage and speed as well and not neglect them. But you don't want to build him 0 accuracy, but ideally I would say something between 2 to 400 accuracy. Then as far as the damage goes, I have talked about this many times, but Rule is the best 2-piece set for nukers, even for defense scaling nukers, because the ignore defense is such a huge deal. But you must run Hell Hades Optimizer and it will show you the specific gear and builds that you happen to be able to make on your account. And for my account it just happens to be so that I get a better 2-piece set with critical damage than Cruel on him specifically. But it might change in the future if I get some good defense scaling nuke pieces on Lethal. And yeah, he's 218 speed. Ideally I would want him a bit faster than that. You don't really want to build your nukers very slow in live arena, unless it's for some very specific thing with Chu Chen or something. You really don't want them to be slow, because you don't want enemy supports to lap them. But 218 is okay. Ideally you would want to have at least more than 200, but if he was fully glooped, and ideally I would say that you want to aim for like 250 on all of your nukers, which is doable if you have very good gear and they are very glooped. But that's basically the short version of what I would do with him. As far as the blessings go, you could either go with maybe polymorph or temporal chains, but as you know, there isn't a good nuke mastery for defense scaling champions, so maybe we will get that in future. I don't really know what Plarium is gonna do about it, but for now I'm gonna go with polymorph on my own. It does give you defense, and I do build him with a little bit of accuracy, so the sheep part can be great as well. And the nuke masteries are pretty standard ones. There is not really anything unusual here, and this is the most basic mastery setup that you will use on most nukers in the game. Well, okay, this one mastery, Harvest Despair, is maybe slightly unusual. Has 60% chance of placing beach debuff for 1 turn when placing basically some kind of CC. You could probably go with Delay Death. This is definitely the most common one, but the damage mitigation you get from this though is not very relevant in practice, because champions do so much damage that it doesn't really make any difference on a champion like Tormin. But you could probably use that one instead of the Leech. I think I used this Leech back in the days for some kind of PvE content, but I don't even... some dungeon maybe, I don't even recall what I used this on. Anyway, let's get into the fights and see how this plays out. Now, I would say that Tormin isn't something that you can blind pick against anything in live arena, and most often you will probably want to save him as your last pick and only pick him after an enemy has already kind of locked in their team, and you know that they are not able to get 2 champions with immunity in their team, which is basically your kind of Tormin win/use condition, because at that point you can freeze them pretty well. If they do happen to get something like Siphi in their team and you're not gonna be able to ban it, then you're just better off using some other nuker than Tormin, because his damage isn't that insane and you're not using him just for the damage but for the utility that he provides. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to use Tormin today on live arena as much as I can, but I'm not gonna like blind pick him every fight, and I don't recommend you guys to do it, but I will try to go for him as much as I can. He isn't the best matchup against Rotos, to be honest, and I have better champions that work against Rotos, so we will see if I actually use him in this one or not. Let me double check that my init is 7 geared, because I have been doing a lot of content lately and messing with things, so I don't even know if he has gear on. Okay, good, he isn't the core. Oh, he's going for like a super speed team with Chu Chen and Lysandra. Actually, I wasn't gonna use Tormin because, damn, the issue here is that I can't pick a champion with defense buff anymore, and Tormin is not gonna do well against Rotos, but damn, his team looks so suspectable. Tormin, I'm kind of considering to go for it now. Should I go with Initve and Tormin? I could go for Xena as well. Let's go for Xena and Tormin. This is the biggest issue that I have on my account, that if I had Siphi for live arena, it will be very good early pick, and then it will be easy to decide later if I want to pick Tormin or not. But right now I have to basically use either Helicat or Mitrola, which are my two best champions for defense buffs, and that means that I need to have slot for one of those as well when I end up picking Tormin in the end. What do I even want to ban here? I think we're gonna go for the Raman to ban. His team is kind of unusual. I kind of suspect that he picked it specifically because he knows that I like to pick both Rotos and Wukong, and kind of to basically make it so that I can't do anything against him. And we will see how useful Tormin is actually gonna be here, because Rotos can absolutely shred Tormin and isn't really good pick for him. But his Shu Chen and Lysandra are gonna be in pretty awkward position. Oh, he did. Okay, he got pretty lucky there. We didn't get freeze on the Wukong. Now this is not looking good for me. Okay, he went for the sheep on the Xena. I guess it kind of makes sense, but slightly surprising. Now, I can do the double hit on Tormin, so we probably can kill this Rotos since he doesn't have any buffs on him, even though I don't have defense buff. We can probably just one-shot him with A2 if we are able to take a turn before it. Come on. Let's win the first fight even with this kind of scuff team. Okay, so yeah. We weren't able to cut in, but he also froze his Rotos, so it's fine for us. Okay, this is kind of weird Wukong. It's clearly a hybrid Wukong, not full damage. And too bad that we got the block buffs on Tormin, because now we're not able to place ally protection on him and maybe get counter attacks. I mean, ally attacks with Necret. Okay, come on, just let my Tormin move before this Rotos, please. There's so many. We have the decreased speed debuffs, and we're getting turn meter reduced. Like Tormin still hasn't gotten a turn. Oh, come on. Okay, my Duchess was tanky enough. I think I can maybe still kill this Rotos. Now he got more HP, so I might not be able to do it, but we must go for the A2, not the A3. The A2 is the only skill that, okay, good, might be able to one-shot the Rotos. I'm not sure if we're quite clear here yet, but with Rotos dead, it's a lot better. Yeah, Necret isn't able to do a lot with the block buffs on his team. Wukong has been a bane of my existence ever since he was released. Originally, people weren't using him a lot, and I was having a field day using him as a nuker. But then everybody started to use him as a support, and I really haven't been able to deal with that. This is looking bad. I don't know, maybe we're still gonna lose. We're getting so much turn meter manipulation that we either need to get some CC on his team, or I think the Tormin is just gonna get polymorphed and I might be screwed. Yeah, I knew that was coming. To be fair, we definitely could have had better RNG in this fight if he would have gotten frozen at the start when Shuchen did extra turn on Rotos. We might have just been able to end it right there. And yeah, we didn't have increased defense in this fight either, so probably if I had like Mitrola here or Helicat, it would have been better, but Helicat is often not great pick against them. I probably shouldn't have first picked the UDK if I'm going for Tormin, because I really need to save the potential champion slot for the defense buff. Mitrola, of course, can also be good in that way that even though Siphi is clearly the best choice for defense buff, but when you do get frozen by the Tormin passive, Mitrola can also cleanse it, which can be quite good. Maybe we're gonna go for first pick Duchess. And of course, my enemy opponents are pretty hard, so some of the stuff that I'm not getting away with, you might still be able to get away. Mithril and Tormin can also be good combination in that sense that Tormin does have the buff strip with A2, which can be good for the Mithril Hex from her own A2. Maybe we're gonna go with Xena here, and then likely we will go with Tormin as last option. Kind of depends what he picks, but he has the last pick, so actually maybe I shouldn't use Tormin. Yeah, yes, Elva, and then he can pick another reviver. Tormin wouldn't really make sense here. I would pick it if I had the last pick, but it is just not option this time. I can't let him have a team with double in. Should I go? Wait. Should we go for Initve here? What I could totally do is that I guess he can still pick Warlord, but I could go with Initve and ban the Harima. Let's go with Initve and Kaimar. My Kaimar is in resistance build, so if he does go for lockout, then I'm still able to ban the Harima, which I want to do. Lydia, that's an interesting choice. Is he gonna ban Necret? No. Okay. What? I'm slightly confused. What's the point of picking Lydia if he's gonna ban the Duchess? I mean, I guess he plays his debuffs, or maybe she has Lydia in bolster or something, which was the main reason that he went for it. I mean, if he was gonna Lydia, then he might have as well banned the Necret instead. I think, yeah, it's in bolster, I knew it. Anyway. All we need to do here really is that we need to get one A2 on Rotos, and that's it, hopefully. He does have the whale though, so I don't know how it's gonna play out. That's pretty good hit. 137k, and that was through the big shield that he also had. Should I go for the... No, let's go for the tip. Great, we got it. Okay, that's it. That's it. Wait, what? Okay, maybe I was getting ahead of myself. I should have just actually it's fine. It's fine. It's better to do this than do the AoE. Unless he kills Xena here. Never mind. Oh, he's scared to weak hit on Xena. Okay, never mind. It was totally fine to do it because damn it. If I hit the Rotos now, he's gonna get extra turn. We have to go for the Elva, but I'm not sure if she's gonna die without the attack buff. Not wakening up with the Elva with the A2 might have been okay choice, but we did do it anyway. I didn't want to give Rotos another turn. Maybe we're still good. I probably should have honestly done the A3 and woken up Elva and saved the A2 when he wasn't with shields and other stuff. If we do the A1 here, we're not gonna do any damage to Rotos, so even though it's not gonna do any damage to UDK because of the stone skill, we have to go for the AoE. This is getting pretty close. Damn. We might even lose this one too. Come on. Do we have enough damage to kill the Rot? Oh no, he's gonna take one hit. Okay, he needs to get a weak hit on the UDK. I mean on the Rotos. Otherwise we're gonna lose. Come on. Give me weak hit, please. Please give me... okay. Well, it was pretty close. I probably made a mistake with the init A2 at the start, but happens. Two very close fights, but I ended up losing both of them. That's not the best start, but we can do better. We're gonna get the wins with Tormin instead. By the way, how many of you guys are actually gonna go for the Tormin? I'm not really sure if it's a popular event or not. I'm not saying it isn't, but I don't really know. I think in our clan probably like it's kind of irrelevant to most people. They probably already have him, but if they want to empower him, they might go for him. They are not probably gonna really think about do they have the resources to do it or not. Okay, I guess we're gonna open with PK and Rotos. I might regret this if I want to go for Tormin later. But he already opened with the Siphi, so there's a good chance that he's gonna have double immunity in his team. Okay, everything is +4. That's a very fair fight. And yeah, he does have the double immunity, so Tormin is already out of option. It's gonna be a very hard fight, but we have to go for Helicat here, definitely. But I don't know what Nuker we're gonna... Maybe we're gonna go with Wukong, but that's only if we can actually ban the Harima. I don't know if I kind of want to get attack buff, but I don't think I want to go Arbiter. Do I want to? Only if I can ban the Harima, but I don't know if I'm able to do it. Let's actually just go for Wukong now, and then we're gonna see what we do after he picks. I do prefer having the last pick a lot more than have first pick in Ivory. Especially for some of these niche strategies that, like using Tormin, it's way better to have the last pick. Okay, well, it's not very unexpected team, to be honest. he did go with the lockout. And it is +4, so my Kaimar is definitely gonna resist it. So we have to ban the Yumeko, and that means that we're basically not any damage because of the Harima passive. And I guess I'm gonna go for a tanky team, but it's already a lost fight. You can't really win against these kind of icons, to be honest. Well, somebody can, but not. He has everybody except Taras at +4, and everybody has 6-star blessing. I don't even have any. No, Rotos has 6-star blessing. Yeah. But yeah. The issue is that the Harima passive reduces the damage from champions that rely on ignore defense, like Wukong and Rotos, so much that we don't have the damage to kill anybody. But we have to ban the lockout, otherwise we're not gonna even be able to use any skills against him. At least we had the Helicat in the team, because if we didn't have Helicat, 100% sure he would have banned my Rotos, just so that I would have even less damage and even smaller chance to do anything in this fight, but it's still game over. No shot in this. We don't have attack buff, and the attack buff is very minor in this instance, to be honest. It's the Harima passive that is the big deal. And the Taras is gonna reduce our attack, which isn't that big deal for Rotos, but it's gonna completely make Wukong useless. So the only chance we have here really is that we need to somehow kill the Harima, who is gonna get healed constantly by the Siphi. We need to kill it, and then we need to be able to kill multiple targets on the next turn before Harima gets back revived, and he does have 2 revivers. I don't think I will kill the Harima with A2 here, even if I crit, so let's rather go for the Taras. And also, if I weak hit on Harima, I'm not gonna steal HP, so I would rather do this. Oh, extra turn. Nice. Wait, what? That wasn't extra turn. I'm confused. I thought that... Oh yeah, I guess it was just a passive. The A1 didn't give extra turn there. The tooltip just made it a bit confusing. So, if we do the AoE here, which we must because we need to kill the Harima, but we're gonna get our damage reduced by or our attack reduced by 10%. So I'm not really happy to do all this AoE, but we have to go for it. I probably should risk it here and go for the A2 on Harima. I mean, should I actually do it? She's just gonna get revived though. Nah, honestly, I probably should just go for the A2 on one of the revivers and try to make it so that Rotos is gonna block revive. If I'm able to survive that long, block revive might actually be a huge deal if I'm just able to hit a low HP Harima and finish it off with that. But probably next A3 that... Yeah, he had it already. Next A3 that she's gonna do is gonna kill Rotos, so... Maybe I should have just tried to kill Harima, though I think she probably wouldn't have died today too. And now Taras can maybe just kill it with A1. Maybe not. Okay, it survived, it's good. Ah, never mind, okay. Yeah, it's not a doable fight. It is what it is. I have done too well in live arena and I have played it too much, and I get these opponents that are like trillion times ahead of my league. So it is what it is. Maybe Plarium can do a live arena season where we're matched by the spending bracket, and then I could have fun in that one, and I could win it, and I could feel good about myself. But unless they do something like that, then I'm gonna get destroyed by these mega accounts and feel a little bit bad about it. I'm not sure, but maybe, well, no, it wouldn't have made any difference. If I did the A2 on the Harima, even if I did end up killing her, which I'm not sure if I would have done even if I didn't pick it, but she will just get revived. So. Okay, let's hope that he picks something else than Harima in this fight. But considering that he didn't ban my UDK in the last fight, I guess I'm fighting the actual player and not the bot this time. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Some people in my clan have been memeing against him because he does use this kind of, which is not against the rules, by the way, to be clear, but he uses this bot to play live arena, and he has so good account that even with the bot he's gonna win a lot and he can do it, but the bot is gonna ban the first pick in your team, and people just pick something stupid as their first champion against him. But I'm definitely not playing against the bot this time. If he didn't have the lockout, if it was just Harima, I would have a chance, but when he has both the Harima and lockout, I'm not able to do any damage against him, and it's not possible to win. I don't know if I should go with Necret or Heligat in this one. Heligat is gonna be the more annoying one, so... Nah, let's go with Necret. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm gonna do with Kumeko. I could technically go with Tormin here, I guess, and the Sifi, but I'm not gonna have a lot of damage though. I guess I'm gonna... I don't have any chance to win against him anyway, so I might go for the Hail Mary. I don't have defense buff and I'm gonna get locked out, but maybe that's my best chance at killing him. If he had some other squishy nuker instead of Rotos, like Ronda or Georgie, this might have a higher chance to work, but Rotos is not gonna kill... Tormin is not gonna kill Rotos easily with the A1. Chu Chen is very popular nowadays. It's very new champion, but it's a very... Oh nice, we got the freeze there. It's a very very hot toy that all of the top accounts are using, and you can use her to make most out of champions like George in live arena and even in classic arena. Do we have enough damage? Not quite. No attack buff, and Rotos is pretty tanky, so... And he has the Harima passive. Nice. Tormin is doing some work, even I don't think I'm gonna win this fight, but at least we're putting out the fight on paper. I mean, I can't really complain that I don't win against like Panda in live arena, because let's be honest, I shouldn't really be winning against him either. So if I do win against him, I should just be happy, but I shouldn't really expect to be able to do that. I mean, it's still a gacha game, so even though I made the video to like about the cheating and the boosting, but of course just having trillion times better accounts makes difference, often much bigger difference, but at the top all of the accounts are gonna be mega accounts. So wait, what? I wasn't even thinking that we would win this fight. That's kind of funny. But yeah, like I was saying, that it's kind of luxury if I'm able to beat against these kind of accounts sometimes, and clearly he was kind of memeing against me and picking something unusual, and he didn't see the Tormin pick coming there. But actually maybe I should put that in the thumbnail just to clickbait a little bit. But yeah, he didn't see that coming, and Tormin got the job done. In the other fight that I had against Shu-Chen, Tormin just didn't. Of course, it's always gonna be coin toss with him, but in this fight, if Tormin just proc the freeze at the start, we would have won, but it didn't happen. This time it did happen though, so that's nice. I'm honestly kind of surprised that we're 3-0, because I guess the first two fights were very close, yeah. And all of my enemies are very tough. The second fight is honestly kind of a bit different, like Elva and Lydia, you don't see that much of them. I mean, I do see both of them, Elva a lot more than Lydia, but it is still quite unusual team. I think a lot of people like to pick Elva with the second reviver in Tara's teams. That stuff I do see a good amount, and especially when I go for the Tormin and they want to pick immunity champion or second immunity champion, then Elva is something that we're gonna see more than usual. Okay, let's see if my recording is on and up. I hope there isn't any issue with the audio. I remember one video a while ago, there was some Finnish local news playing on at the same time, and it kind of messed with the video. I tried to remove it with different programs afterwards, and I was able to remove it quite well, but you could still hear it, so it was very annoying. Even though I guess I have been doing videos for many months at this point, but I'm not really a professional at this. I feel like I should do some studying on video editing and go to a course or something at some point. I've just been kind of winging it, and I don't know anything about anything related to video editing or thumbnails and so on, or audio or anything else really. So he's going for the first big Duchess again, which doesn't bode well for our plan to use Tormin, but we will see. I'm gonna save it for later, and maybe we still have the option. We do have the second pick, so in case he doesn't go for double immunity, then we might whack him with Tormin passive in the face. Hopefully. I want to use Tormin as much as possible in this video, since I wanted to talk about him specifically. Even though I use him a lot in general, but I'm kind of trying to pick him as often as I can today. He doesn't have second nuker. I'm kind of afraid that if I go for Helicat, he's going to go for Wukong, which I really don't want to see in this fight. Yeah, I ended up going for Helicat there, but I don't know if I should have went for Mithrala instead. It kind of depends what he ends up picking. But even though Helicat doesn't base defense buff instantly, he does after... Ah, yeah, he did pick Wukong. He does after the block damage ends, so he can still kind of provide it to Tormin. This is actually interesting matchup that kind of gives an opportunity to talk about the aspect that I kind of neglected to mention earlier. But he's using a team with lockout, and Tormin is kind of okay in some matchups against being locked out. I mean, no champion is great against it, but he's one of those champions that sometimes can kind of do it. Because he does do the AoE with the A1, and the passive is still up even if he's locked out. It's kind of the same with Rotos, because he gets extra turns with A1 and his skills are very low cooldown, and he gets extra turns with passive as well. We might be able to do this, but I'm not quite sure. That's why I do this strategy often, that if you pick two champions or you have two different ways to deal with the enemy team while being locked out, then you don't always necessarily have to ban the lockout. Okay, I was kind of hoping that my Helicat would have been faster than the Yumeko, but I guess that was a low accuracy, high speed Yumeko. We weren't faster. My Helicat is like 350 speed, so there was a possibility that it would have gone first. And it would have actually had very interesting mechanic. Even though the Wukong does the buff strip and block buffs on the same skill, but with Helicat specifically, if we would have gotten the block damage up, even though he would have buff stripped it and placed a decrease, block buffs on us, we would still have gotten the increased defense at the same time, so it's kind of too bad we didn't. If Tormin is just able to get... I don't think he's gonna get turns. If Tormin is just able to get a little bit of something done, we could be okay, but... Oh, he didn't die to that. Can we get the turn? Maybe we can get the freeze? Please give us some freezes, come on. You can do it. Okay, that's decent. Wait, did he also got... He didn't die there, he got frozen because of the Yumeko deflection on the X. That's kind of funny. Okay, now he got frozen by his own passive. Oh, nice. The turn meter boost that she stole from Helicat is the one that beat that. We're still able to pull off... Wait, if I do this... Okay, it's fine. Please don't get feared. We're still able to pull off a revive, so maybe it's doable. Even if Rotos didn't get it, but... It's not looking terrible. Goddamn polymorph. Wait. That wasn't the Hex. Did he actually get frozen by 2-piece Frostbite on Wukong there? I don't think that was the Hex. I wasn't paying attention, but that was weird. Yeah, we're kind of having a tough time that we're in between Harima one-shotting Rotos every time and Tormin getting polymorphed. We're not really getting any turns here, so it's not looking good. And with the lockout and everything. Lockout is just so big deal, but it is what it is. I wish I had lockout. I would run resistance lockout, and I would be able to screw up with these people so much with that build. Imagine if I had like a resistance Yumeko in this fight. I guess we can't both have Yumekos, but let's say he had a Warlord and I had resistance Yumeko. This would be so easy win with that setup. It would be completely like Yuno reverse card, that he locks me out and then I lock him out, and then he has to suffer like I always have to do. Okay, we're getting a lot of losses today, but we're giving it our best, and the teams are very hard, so it is what it is. But don't let this deter you from the fact that you might use Tormin. I'm kind of using him in some fights that I wouldn't normally always use him on. I would only really use him on the slam dunk cases so normally, but I kind of want to use him a lot today. Not every fight, but if I can, then I will, and I guess it's good that we try the different variations and matchups with him for the showcase. But yeah, in the end, even though my champion pool has grown a good amount, it is still pretty small and I'm pretty easily able to be countered. And those top accounts, they don't even have to counter me, they just have to use their strong teams and they can beat me even outside of that. But the Harima UDK lockout stuff is a big counter against me. I really wish I would have gotten the Harima in the last shard event. I would pick Harima in like first pick in every fight, and some of these matchups would be so easy if they just didn't Harima against. I don't know what we want to do here. We know now that the lockout is fast, so maybe we will use Kaimar in this fight, I guess. Yeah, we have to go for that. If I use the Kaimar and Python, then that definitely means that we're not able to fit in. Oh fuck. I was too slow. We're not able to fit in increased defense in this fight, but we have to go with it. It is fun. If he had a very squishy team like last time, which he doesn't with the Duchess, I guess it wasn't like that squishy, but he didn't have a proper reviver, but Tormin is definitely not gonna be option. I think it's just gonna be either Xena or Wukong, I don't think. My other options like Mortu and Stylus or Tormin doesn't really make a lot of sense in this matchup. We do have the last pick though, so maybe... Oh, he went with Xena. Maybe he does something that gives us some options. Okay, since he did go with Xena, now I'm kind of tempted to go with the Tormin actually. Wait, we're totally gonna go with the Tormin now. Even without the... We're just gonna ban the Justice and we're gonna fight the Yumeko again, but this time we're gonna have the cooldown reset, assuming he doesn't ban it, but then we have both Rodos, so can still be okay, but Xena is gonna place debuffs on herself with the passive when we put up our own buffs. I mean, yeah, she's gonna place debuffs and buffs on herself, hopefully. But also the Arbiter is gonna place buffs and turn meter boost, so I don't know if he's gonna ban the Tormin or Kaimar. I think that's the two that he's thinking about. He went for the Rotos ban. That is kind of unexpected. He does have Arbiter in the team, but Arbiter isn't that tanky, so the deaths are gonna be kind of permanent. I get them. Okay, nice. So because of the Stone Skin and Bolster, I've encountered this thing before and it was kind of funny interaction. But because of the Stone Skin and Bolster, which were placed on the same... We can look at the verbiage of the Xena passive after this, but if 2 or more buffs are placed at the same turn is what her skill says, she will do her passive, so she did it and that's why she got frozen by Tormin. That was a weird set of circumstances, but I'm glad that we got it on the video, so I could also explain it and give you as thorough Tormin showcase as possible. And if you have any other questions or points about Tormin, or I guess something else, then tell me in the comments as well. I'm only human, I don't know everything. I try to know everything that I can about Arena, but I'm gonna forget things and I might not know everything. So if you have something good to say or something that you want to ask about, then hit me up in the comments. Okay, this fight is looking good. This time we're just bullying him with the freeze, so that's fun. This is what you want to get with Tormin. This is the type of fights that you enjoy when you get to do with him. And is the Arbiter gonna die to the A1? I don't know if I want to go for it or if I should just do the A2 to safely kill her. Maybe she will die to it. Okay, not. The Harima passive is too strong. But it's looking pretty bleak for his team at this point. It would be kind of funny though if we lose at this point. I think we're good. Arbiter is definitely the main thing that you want to pick Tormin against. But then there is the Maritska-Taras combination without immunity I mentioned before. Those are the two main matchups that you want to use him against. I used him in many unconventional matchups today, kind of for showcase, but you don't have to use Tormin in every fight. He's a good pocket pick to have as your last nuker, or like last champion that you pick, but he isn't something like Rotos or Taras or Harima that you blind pick as your first champion in the team. But that doesn't mean that he isn't great for live arena. And you can make the same build work very well in tag team arena as well. So build is doing multiple things at the same time. I hope that I can get this video out same day. Yesterday I uploaded a video, but it was way too late and my Xena Hydra video completely bombed. But I'm kind of I'm working with so many stuff right now. I'm working on like a thing for like uni, and then I'm also working on two different like sponsored videos that I should basically get both of them done today, so I'm a bit busy right now. I don't really have any time to screw off today. I really need to. I can't watch YouTube or play games. I need to work today. Like I need to get those two videos done today, and then I need to get some like uni stuff done by Sunday, or like by Sunday I mean I can do it on Sunday, but basically I'll do that tomorrow. I guess I need to get the videos hopefully done today, if possible. Okay, let's not first the QDK. That would be dumb when he first picked Harima. The issue here though is that if he picks UDK on Harima, then Rotos is gonna suck. But what I'm gonna do here is that let's not go for Rotos pick. I'm just gonna pick Duchess and Necret, and if he picks Rotos, then I'm just gonna try to counter Rotos instead of dealing with his Harima lockout and UDK with my own Rotos. Okay, he did go for it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're definitely gonna go for Xena, and we will see what our last pick is. Actually, maybe we should go for the DK. After all, we're most certainly not gonna use Tormin in this fight, so maybe we can even actually use Taltus. Let me double check that Taltus is geared. Hellhead's optimizer is so good cheat sheet because I can always check during the fights if my champions are actually geared or not. It does look like Taltus is geared, so we might use him if he doesn't pick very tanky options as the last two. Nah, I think we're gonna go. I don't really love picking Wukong against the Rotos, but we're gonna have to go for it. Probably he's not gonna ban Xena. I think he's still gonna go for the UDK ban. Otherwise, we might have some serious trouble because we can weak hit on Rotos, and Rotos is gonna recover his HP, and Wukong doesn't have any multi-hits or anything, so he can easily get fucked by Rotos. And Rotos can kill him with A3 and get extra turn, and stack the HP with the A2 and so on. By the way, sometimes I get questioned that why did you pick Dutch's passive instead of Wukong passive in the end? That's just my mistake. It's not on purpose, but couple times I have done it by mistake. The order that you pick your champions in live arena, that's gonna be the order that is applied to when the enemy attacks you with AoE and you proc the polymorph. So it's not relevant to that. It's just you should pick whatever aura is the best one. He has a lot of buffs in team. We might even be able to kill the Ukko. I mean, if we don't proc reaction, we should definitely kill the Ukko, but we might even do a good amount of damage on the Siphi. Oh, okay, we killed the Siphi. Damn. Yeah, Xena OP. This was basically what happened in my last video a couple times, that since enemy doesn't always have tons of buffs on them, you sometimes forget how hard Xena can actually hit in the right situation, and this time she just completely smacked her team. Okay, that's it. I mean, there's no comeback for him anymore. Our nukers were able to get turns and he wasn't able to kill them before it, and I guess that was mostly because Xena got in with her passive and was able to kill the Ukko before he did any buff strip or attack debuffs on us or stuns. So this video is still a Tormin showcase, definitely, but there is some arguments for you if you still want to consider getting the Xena Force Pass. I'm not really trying to shill and get people to buy it, like don't do it just because I'm telling you, but I do think that because of the negative drama around the Xena Pass, people are kind of underestimating how good champion Xena actually is. It is definitely one of the best nukers for live arena. There's no question about it. It might not be able to win Taras or Rotos in 1 versus 1, but as you saw, sometimes the utility from her passive and her being able to cut in can totally win you fights, and her damage is still pretty good as well. Not as good as those other two, but it is still very good. I was talking about making live arena tier list maybe on the last live arena video. I'm not gonna do it today. Maybe tomorrow, we will see. I think I had something else planned to tomorrow, but if I don't do it on Sunday, I'm definitely going to do it next week. And if I don't, then tell me to do it in comments if I forget about it. But I think the meta is kind of set in and slightly changed by some of the new top champions that we have gotten lately, like Wukong and Xena and so on, or Shu Chen. So there's definitely some demand for the new tier list to give people good guidelines for it. But I'm a big fan of the Berserk manga, by the way. There's also this Finnish metal band that has a song called Berserk. They are also big Berserk fans, so you should definitely check it out. Wait, no. That song is called Beast in Black. It's not called Berserk, my bad. But as you know, if you have seen Berserk, you know what that Beast in Black means guts, so it is a Berserk reference. Oh, can we pull off the Tormin versus Daritska matchup this fight? He did open with Sifi, but we got the first pick. God damn it! I don't think we're gonna be able to pull that off. We will see. The only way that it's gonna be possible now is that if he doesn't pick second nuker now, if he picks two supports, let's hope that he does it. What? Okay, that was like a movie script. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. Usually they save it so that they have the support as the last pick, but okay, then we're definitely gonna go for the Tormin. The only thing here now to decide is if we want to go for the Mitrala or Helicat. Let me think about it. Actually, let's go for the Mitrala, since he's literally not gonna have immunity, but Maritska is still able to cleanse debuffs, but now he has multiple different debuffs that he has to cleanse. That Tormin Freeze, Mitrala Hex / Petrification, and then also possibly the Tormin Taunt as well, so maybe we can do this. Okay, great. I wanted to get one of these. Oh, okay. I was happy that I would get good content for the showcase, but he did end up banning Tormin in this fight. By the way, which makes complete sense. He did the right thing and he played it the right way, but I wanted to show this matchup on the video because with Tormin we would have had pretty fun time against him, but he played it the right way. Even without Tormin though, I think Mitrala can actually be excellent in this matchup. The Petrification is gonna... Should I even go for the well? Now let's just do A1 and save that attack buff for later. Never mind, he still has the stone skin anyway. So the Hex is gonna be good, of course, since he doesn't have immunity. But also, with my tanky team having Bolster Duchess and Bolster Necret, getting the defense buff and strengthen buff is gonna be a big deal. Because I don't have Sifi, I don't often get to taste how it feels to have this, but it is a huge deal. I don't know if I should do it or if I should wait one turn. Let's wait one turn with rank then. Yeah. just so that we could have done it now as well to... I hope I don't get extra turn. Now let's just go for the A2. I don't want to risk getting extra turn. We could have done the strengthen earlier just to get it back faster, but I was kind of adding an interval in between this boss and just to mitigate the damage a bit more consistently and spread it out. We're gonna heal with the Bolster and Immortal set, so as long as the Goddess doesn't die or like doesn't get one shot, then we're still able to make a comeback. I almost feel like I could just save the town for later when I get... I mean, save the strength and for later when I get taunted, but nah, let's just go for it now. To preemptively mitigate the damage. Wait, did he... Okay. I think he just did the cleanse before I even did the hex, so... That's great for us, I guess. Yeah, this is not gonna be very fast fight because he has the UDK, and even if we would have gotten the Tormin, it wouldn't have been fast one. But I think we do have a good shot in this one to win it eventually. Who does he have with Polymorph? Okay, UDK is actually in Brimstone and nobody's in Polymorph. That's a bit weird. I think he has the... I don't know why UDK is in it, but I guess he has Brimstone on Tarasur Hydra, I would guess. Yeah, the way that we're gonna end this fight is that now that the stone skin is over, we need to start stealing that HP and get the block revive up. I mean, he doesn't have two revivers in his team anyway, so it's not like they are gonna get endlessly revived with Maritska passive and they're also getting revived. But we can get a lot of weak hits on his team, and his team is very tanky, so we might just be better off getting the block revive early on. I mean, he has both UDK and Harima, reducing our damage a lot. And then he still heals also with Maritska, so it's not gonna be easy to finish him off at all. Damn, I was kind of hoping Rotos would survive until the next turn, and then he will get wailed, but he didn't. He is gonna get increased damage with the Harima over time, so we shouldn't get too happy too early on. We're not safe at all yet. Damn that attack buff. If I didn't have that attack buff, then maybe I would have had a chance to one-shot him next turn if I didn't get weakened, but he died anyway, so it is what it is. Hopefully his Harima keeps getting petrified and polymorphed, and we're actually able to kill that UDK at some point. I don't know if I should protect the Mitrala or Justice. Let's actually protect the Mitrala, but I might regret this. Actually, I should have just protected the Duchess, and since I already had the whale up, it would have been good. But Mitrala was so low that she could have gotten one-shotted, so I kind of... I didn't want to risk her dying and not getting the pass from her. That's kind of unfortunate timing that she got double taunted. Are you kidding me? Probably by the time that she gets her next turn, she's gonna get taunted again. God damn it. I don't know if she's actually gonna get... Yeah, she's gonna get the next turn, but I don't think she's gonna get another turn anymore before the... like, without the taunt. If she does, then I'm gonna get the revive, but I think it's game over. Okay, we would have proc polymorph, but we don't have 6-star blessing, so we weren't actually able to do. Okay, we got the next turn, I guess. Did we? My Duchess is very tanky, so that's good. But it looks like we lost the fight at it. It is a very tanky team, and the UDK Harima is just basically, it's almost unwinnable matchup for us, but I didn't have a lot of options, so I had to try my luck with that. I was hoping that I would get Tormin, but it made sense that he would ban it. Even though Rotos does way more damage than Tormin, but in that fight Tormin would have actually done way more damage, because he wouldn't have been screwed by the UDK, because his passive is A1, even if it doesn't hit hard, and even the A2 could kind of halfway get through the UDK passive and do damage, so... Okay, let's get a win on the last fight. I'm hoping that we get some really good fusion soon, like Wukong, and something that is relevant in live arena that would change the meta a bit and give me some new toys and options to play around with. But the game is old, and of course there is gonna be top champions, so it is pretty hard to make the game so that there's tons of different viable champions, and often in RPG games, like even if we talk about something like World of Warcraft, let's say that you have those talents which are basically masteries in raid. Even if you have the what's the word? Even if there is the perception that you have multiple options in the talent tree in the same row that you can choose from, usually one of them is just way better than the other ones, and it's kind of hard to make the game so perfectly balanced that there is actually multiple viable options. But if there is just one option that is much better than the other ones, then that basically means that there is no options. There is just one mastery, and there is just couple nukers in Raid Shadow Legends, because only those are viable and everything else is trash. But it is just what it is, and even though I always complain about it and I try to get Parium to nerf Ukraine duo and lockout and so on, but I understand that it's not very easy thing to do. Okay, we're meeting the dreaded UDK and Harima again. People kind of just like to first pick it against me because they know that I use Rotos, and is screws up with me very hard. But we're just not gonna go with Rotos in this fight, and probably he's gonna go with Rotos since he basically picked the 2 burst counters for him, and now he can very safely pick it against me. I would do that if I had Harima, by the way. UDK Rotos Harima would be so safe first 3 picks in every fight for me. I would have a lot of fun with that for sure. He has the last pick, so probably we're not gonna be able to pick the Tormin in the last fight, even though I kind of wanted to, but unlikely it's gonna be an option. Okay, it's definitely not option since he has. Well, I mean, I guess technically if he, I guess it's kind of option. Mitral does have cleanse too, but she doesn't have immunity and she does place buffs, so we could ban the Python, but I don't know if I actually. Wait, let's think about it. Helicat is gonna get shredded by Mitrala and we're gonna lose the block damage, but should I go for it? I could almost consider it, to be honest. Maybe it would be good because I can't use Wukong because of the UDK, and I need some AoE against these teams. This doesn't look like a great team for me, but maybe it's the best option that I have. Yeah. Something like Staltus definitely would have the damage to do this, and even though Staltus might on paper have more damage than Tormin, but then there is the fact that Tormin can CC his team. Oh, Mortu was a good last pick. That was a good choice. He knows that I want to ban Python in this instance, and I went for a lot of AoE, so he's kind of putting me in a very hard position, and I'm not gonna be able to finish this team very fast because of the UDK and Harima passives, but I think we're just gonna go for it. If I ban the Morto, I'm never gonna be able to kill his team. We have to go for this. Okay, maybe we still have a very tiny chance to get final Tormin video. Wait, his Tormin isn't in Stone Skin. That's kind of unexpected. I don't know if it's in Bolster or maybe Mitrala is in Bolster. Probably he actually has double Bolster, now that I'm thinking about it. Probably both Mitrala and Mortu are in Bolster, but that means that if we don't weak it because of the reaction now, we might still have a chance to win this. We can more probably one-shot him. What? Okay, yeah, okay. So she got petrified and we didn't do any damage at all, I guess. I think if we did do damage and we didn't weak it, we would definitely one-shot the Tormin. But we got completely cucked by the Hex, so that's not good. I guess we can still try to save Tormin from the Hex, since it's not gonna proc with immunity up, or like he's not gonna get petrified now, but the other two are petrified and they're gonna not get buffs and be frozen, so it's not looking good. Well, actually, maybe if we can keep landing freezes on the mortal, then he's not gonna get chance to like get a turn with the barrel. But damn, we're not doing any damage because he has all of those passives and the buffs from Mitrola. I thought that Xena had a good shot at wiping half of his team on the first turn, but he just got petrified and didn't do anything. Yeah, Mitrola is above Mortu in the team order, so I guess I didn't get to do any damage on him at all. Maybe I should go for the Harima here. I mean, I can only do one hit with the A2, but damn it, his team is so tanky. At least I won't do AoE with it, and I can buy myself a little bit more time. I'd rather do no AoEs on this mortal turn and then do 2 AoEs on the next turn. Wait, when did he proc it? Well, we only lost, since Xena and Tormin were both well, we only lost Helicat, which is fine, it's not a big deal. We don't have attack buff, and we might get petrified again before we get to do much, yeah. If we can get rid of this Harima, we might still be able to pull it off, but it is not looking good at all. Okay, he doesn't want to kill the Xena because he's hoping to finish it off with Aerial. Did he proc it again? Ah, come on. Well, this was looking bad from the start, so I wasn't really expecting to. You can always hope to get lucky, I guess. Yeah, we can just surrender now. We don't have clearly enough damage to finish off. It is what. Maybe we still have time to do one more fight. Okay, no, we don't. Well, that's a bummer, but it is what it is. Anyway, we might have gotten accounts that were way out of my league, but I think we got a pretty good showcase on Tormin that you know what you can use him against, and we did get some wins on him. So we did pick him in many fights where he wasn't completely optimal, but it should be pretty clear now in what kind of setups he's very optimal and strong, and we did beat some very strong teams with him as well. And yeah, if you have any other questions or something that you want to say about Tormin, then tell me in the comments. But that's it for today's video, and see ya.